Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. Today is launch day for our August pillow and stickers of the month. For the past couple of years, I have been doing monthly projects for you. So we did trucks of the month, we did houses of the month. This year we are doing pillows of the month. The patterns come in both quilted and cross stitch format, and then I'm also releasing stickers of the month this year. So we're having a lot of fun with these monthlies. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right in. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with our cross stitch. I have a little bit of a tutorial to help you out for this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the August cross stitch. So here is the August Stitchy pillow. It's got some strawberries in there. I've been doing strawberries as my theme for the last few years. I love strawberries and they're a lot of fun to work with. Now every month I am trying to do something new and different. If you have any ideas on how to finish these or you'd like to see a tutorial on how to do something, let me know in the comments below. We're already in August and I'm starting to run low on ideas. So for this one, I thought it would be really fun. I did a border around the outside of our pillow just to make it a little bit bigger. But for this one, what I wanted to do was show you how to put binding on a small project like this, because binding can be fiddly anyway, and I do have a little bit of a tip on how to get this on without having to do a traditional quilt binding on it. So, but it looks like a traditional quilt binding, and technically it is. I just have a little bit of a hack when you're joining the ends together. But let's take a closer look. I stitched this like the other ones all on Quilty Beautiful Beige 14 count Aida. I used all DMC floss. I have fun pinks, reds, greens, and then a white border around that. And then I have little berries down here on the corners, which I think are really cute. And we added some flowers as well. I finished this using my fabric from my new Bloom collection. Hopefully you all saw that here on YouTube. We sold out almost immediately, so thank you so much for your love on that. On the backing, again, I used my Bloom seed print, and then this binding is also from Bloom as well. So let's go ahead and roll the video on how to finish our August pillow. So to finish off this pillow, I wanted to show you an easy way to do binding on smaller projects, because you're not going to have enough room to do like a regular type of quilt binding on it. So I thought I would show you this little technique in today's pillow finishing video. So the first thing we're going to do is take our cross stitch piece and we're going to sew these two side accent fabrics on here using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And one little tip I have is I'll go ahead and place my fabric on here, but then when I sew it, I'll actually sew this way, and I'll just follow one of the lines off of my cross stitch to make sure that I'm getting a straight stitch. And I am going to press it just slightly. I try not to press on top of my stitching, so I'm keeping my iron away from it just a little. And then we're going to go ahead and add our top and bottom accent fabrics. Same exact way. Flip it over right here, and then flip it over on my machine and try and follow a 1/4 inch there. Okay, and then now, same thing, I can just press this back. And if you're curious about my iron, this is my Laura Star iron. You guys see all that steam, or hear it at least. All right, so here is our finished panel, and then the next thing we're going to do is just adhere it to some fusible. And so if you've never used fusible fleece, one side is going to be soft, the other side has bumps on it, and that's going to be your fusible side. So I am going to just layer it on there, and then I will trim off the excess. And if you don't want to do the binding on this project, then I recommend trimming your fusible about 1/4 inch less than your finished piece. That'll make it so it's a little bit less bulky if you're sewing it right sides together and then turning it out. And I'm just going to use a little bit of steam here. And then I'm going to grab another piece of fabric so that I can steam over that stitched area without actually really touching it. I'm just hovering my iron over. All right, and now, as you can see, that's really fast and easy. And now I just grabbed some backing fabric from my stash over here, cut it down to size. I'm just going to press it. Okay, and then now to add our binding, we're going to place our background fabric, or backing, sorry, fabric right side down, and we're going to place the piece, cross stitch piece right side up. All right, so here's our little sandwich. Now we're going to go ahead and add our binding, but we're going to leave an opening And I will show you an easy way to add the binding to these smaller projects, but we need to just remember that we're going to leave an opening on one of our ends down here so that we can stuff our pillow when we're done. So we're going to start out by taking our binding, and this is a 1 or 2¼ inch binding, and I've just pressed it right sides together. And then now I'm going to layer it with the raw sides lined up with the raw side of my pillow. And for this binding hack, I'm going to open my binding up, and I'm going to fold it down just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and just clip this in place right now because we're going to be leaving our opening somewhere along here. And then I'm going to sew just a little bit, and then I'll fold my binding over. You don't want to sew over this bit because when we come back around with our binding, we're going to layer it inside there and then we'll sew it closed. So for this first round, I'm actually just going to put a couple clips right here. And then we're going to start at this corner and make our way around, and then I'll show you how to finish it back up after we've stuffed our pillow. So I'm just going to run a little stitch right here, and then I'm going to cut my thread. I'll pick this up, I'm going to fold it over, and we're going to do this first corner just to make our lives a little bit easier. So about 1 inch or so away from the corner. I'm going to stop 1/4 inch away from the edge of my fabric, lift it up, and then just backstitch just slightly. Okay, we're cutting our thread and we're pulling out our binding. We're now going to pull the binding up and away from us just like this, and I usually will crease it with my finger like that. You basically want this raw edge lined up with the raw edge of your piece, and then I put my finger there again and then just fold it back down toward myself. Okay, so you've got this little flap here now. So now we're going to go ahead and keep going. I usually make a mark with my finger so I know where 1/4 inch is, and then I just eyeball it. Again, tilt it and backstitch. Pick it up, pull it off. Again, pull away from myself and then pull toward myself. And now I'm going to put it back under here and keep going. Okay, I'm at another end. Again, I'm going to lift it and just sew at an angle there. You can also sew at an angle right off toward the corner, but I find that it's a little bit harder to see, and so I just prefer doing it this way. Again, up and back toward yourself. All right, now we're back to our beginning. So I'm going to pull away, pull toward, and I'm just going to do just a little bit here because we need to stuff our pillow. And I'm going to not go past this. All right, so I have this right here. We've got an opening here to stuff. Okay. So here we have our opening to stuff our pillow. So we're going to do that first. And I just have some of this pillow stuffing. It's green because I stole it from another pillow in my house. And hopefully, can you see that? I don't think we'll be good. I have some pillows that I got with a couch that I just don't like. So I've been stealing the stuffing out of them. Reuse, recycle. It might not be so great. You might be able to kind of see that tint under there a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, and then you can decide how much or how little you want to stuff in here. I like my pillows to be pretty good, but keep in mind that we are going to have to go back around and add our binding on. So don't make it so full that you can't get around that edge one more time. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to shove my binding out of the way. And then I'm going to take this back over to my sewing machine. I'm going to, again, fold my edge back down. And I'm actually going to stick a couple of Wonder Clips on there. All right, so here's what my pillow's looking like. I've put a couple of clips right here, and then now I'm going to take this piece and fold it down. I'm going to add that into my clip, and we're just going to sew right along this edge, and just make sure that you have this little flap that we created the first time out of the way, so you don't sew over that accidentally. So once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and trim off my extra just so that I don't accidentally sew too far, like that. All right. And then now we can fold that piece down over the top of it, and you'll see that we've got a nice finished seam right along this edge, and then we can sew right along here to close up that opening. So I'm going to start sewing. Here's my finished stitch line right here. I'm actually going to sew back a little ways. Okay, and then here's what it's looking like. I've just sewn our opening closed, and then when we flip our fabric over, you'll see that we have a nice finished edge right there. That's going to be a lot easier to deal with than trying to put two bindings together and somehow attach them. So I like doing it this way on smaller projects. Now all we need to do is just take our binding, flip it around to the other side just like this, and then we're just going to sew it in place. You can either hand stitch that in place. I'm actually going to do it with a machine. You will see a small line right along here, and I think that's okay, but if that bothers you, then you can always sew it by hand, and I'll show you how to handle these corners when we get to them. So I like to start out where this is, and I apologize, my camera wasn't filming so it missed it, but I basically just started here, ran over my seam first. I like to just get that out of the way, and then went to my first corner, did the first corner, and I'm coming back down to the second corner. So now I'm going to just pick this up and re-show you because for some reason my camera wasn't filming. So when you get to your first corner, you're going to flip your binding up from the bottom and then over from the side, and you want to just do your best to get a mitered corner right here, and sometimes I'll use my seam picker to just get that fabric up inside there. You can also use a stiletto, whatever works best, but you want to have a nice miter right here in the corner, and it's not going to be perfect. Mine's not perfect, that's okay. I take one stitch into the new fabric here, leave my needle in the down position, lift my foot, pivot my piece, put that back down, and then keep going. And by the way, this is just finicky because we have so much pillow stuffing in here, so that's why I said not to overstuff your pillow. Okay, so I'm going to stop about halfway, and I'm going to prepare my last corner. Again, flip it up from the bottom, and then over from the side until you have a nice little miter. Take one stitch into the new fabric, lift and turn. Okay, again. And then I usually go over my stitches just a little bit, back stitch a couple times, and there we go. All right, so that's it for the cross stitch pillow. I hope that video helped you out. I know it's a little bit tricky because we have the pillow stuffing in here, but if you do use this technique on like a smaller project, like a pot holder or something like that, it's really, really easy. As a matter of fact, I did decide to go ahead and stitch the pillow and backing together first to close up that opening, and then I went back in and laid my binding edges across that. I think it was a little bit easier to do it that way. So just a little tip for future. But here is the finished August pillow. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Quilty pillow. All right, so here is our strawberry Quilty pillow. I wanted to make this one super fun and scrappy, and so I used a variety of prints that were left over from my bloom prints. I went through those prints pretty quickly, and so I've been just scrounging through my stash on those. So I decided to make mine super scrappy, which I actually really love how it turned out. So I'll give you a little bit of a close-up here. So we've got some scrappy prints in the corner, and then we've got a strawberry. I've got some more scrappy prints, another, let's do it right side up. And then I've got some more scrappy prints down here and another strawberry. And for the background fabric here, I actually used my low volume print from my Bloom collection instead of a solid white, but you could absolutely do a solid white. That would make the patchwork sections in the corner stand out even more. And then I used scrappy borders as well. In the pattern, it has these being all one color, but I didn't have enough fabric to do that, so I just made mine super scrappy and fun. I love how it turned out, so I'm okay with that. For the backing on this, I used my seed print. I did have some of this left over, and I ordered some extra yardage of it for you guys as well because we'd had so many requests for it. And then I did add my Ever Emblem tag right here on the inside when I added my binding. And I did do a binding on the outside of this. This is a green print, again, from my Bloom collection. And if you do not know how to finish off these pillows, the instructions are all in the patterns, but I also have in the January video instructions on how to finish them off 2 different ways, with binding and without binding. So if you need help with that, go back and watch that January video and you can get to those instructions. And then you can just choose. Some of the pillows I've done binding, some I've skipped it, and I just kind of do whatever I feel like at the time. So there you go. So here's what the pillow looks like. I love it. It's super fun and scrappy. And these little strawberries, I think this would actually be a really cute quilt if you alternated the blocks. So this block would be this way, and then another block here. Just turn it so that the strawberries are offset a little bit. I think that would be so cute. Again, mine are pretty scrappy, but here's one of the strawberries. The stems have a few little small pieces on them to do those corners, and so my recommendation for this is just to use either pre-starch your fabric, use some Mary Ellen's Best Press. That'll really help keep your fabric from stretching or distorting while you're sewing it together, and then trim as you go. The pattern has trimming instructions for almost every step of the way, so it's like make this piece, trim it to this, make this piece, trim it to this. There are also graphic illustrations for each step of the way as well, so it makes it really easy. And if you're trimming as you go, you'll find that your final block will come together a lot better. Everything will line up better, and then when you go to put it together in this fun layout, everything will match really nicely. And then again for this one, I do the envelope backing on it. It makes it really easy. I like to do it this way because it's fully washable. You can wash these, and then you can also store them flat, or I actually have been rolling mine up and keeping them in a basket because they look really cute rolled up, and so they're sort of part of my decor. And then each month I just pull out the appropriate pillow, stuff it in the pillow. I only have one pillow, and then these are really easy to store. All right, so that's it for the August pillow. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stickers. So the stickers for this month are super cute. Of course, we went strawberry themed, so we are going to start out with our sewing machine, and I am naming all the sewing machines. The name for this one is Ellie. We also have a cute little tomato pin cushion. As you'll see, the pins on there are strawberries. We've got a strawberry sticker, and this is just a mock-up of the pillow for this month. We also have our cute little backed up truck. This one is also named Ellie on the license plate right there, and it's carrying a bunch of fun little strawberries in the back. And then we have our cup for this month, and it says strawberries are my jam. And then the last one is our little scallop one, and it's got a little bundle of strawberries on there as well. And here's what all of our stickers for August looked like. If you haven't gotten our stickers before, they are high quality vinyl stickers. They are waterproof, so they're perfect for water bottles, laptops, guitar cases. I have them on my sewing machine and computer monitor. So they're a really fun way to spruce up your space. So that's going to be it for the August pillow release. You can get those patterns in my store at store.confessionsofahomeschooler.com. There should be an image right on the front page, but if you're watching this a little bit later on, just search my website for August pillow and everything should pull up. These are releasing currently on individual PDF format. Once we have released all 12 months, I will bundle them together. They will probably be at a little bit of a discount, so if you want to wait, you can do that, and those will be available in PDF and print format. So, but that won't be till in December. when we have all of our pillows released. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoy the August pillow of the month. This one was a lot of fun, perfect to make scrappy, so dig into your stash bins and just have a lot of fun with it. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to subscribe. That really helps me out. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video.